Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my bullet journal setup for the month of December 2020. Now I have been in my current bullet journal since July, and that's about 5 months, but I realized that I don't have much space left in here. I've got about 20 pages, and that's not enough for the entire month of December. So I did decide to create a new little mini insert here just for 1 month. I don't want to migrate every single thing over from my last bullet journal, so I will leave my monthly calendar or my monthly log on the other notebook, and then the dailies and some notes will be in here. I'm also going to try and use up those remaining 20-something pages in my last bullet journal, especially for my 2021 setup notes, as I've been working on that already and I want to keep it all in the same notebook. I created a cover page and an index to put at the front, and for the insert itself, I used Fabriano paper, and this comes in a 4mm dot grid, which was really nice because it matches the 4mm dot grid of my last notebook. And then here we get to the December cover page. So my theme for December is snowflakes. Since it is December and it's winter where I am, it's going to be snowing a lot. And the other kind of theme that I wanted to use for this month is to use fountain pens, and fountain pens pretty much exclusively. Over the last couple of months, I've been mostly using fine liners and markers, but I also have a collection of fountain pen inks and pens, which would work perfectly in my bullet journal if I really wanted to use them. So I wanted to add a little bit of color from that into this setup. But it started off with outlining everything mostly in black. The fountain pen that I'm using right here is by Platinum, and it's their Platinum Carbon Desk pen. It's a very nice pen. It's the medium nib one. There is another one which is extra fine, but this one writes really nice. It's got a really bold line, and I'm using the Platinum Carbon Black ink in here. Now I did get these snowflake designs just by Googling. I just Googled how do I draw a snowflake. It brought me to Pinterest, and if you Google that too, you'll probably find the same thing. So I just picked 5 of the easiest snowflakes that I could draw, and I just kind of copied them over here. I used a second fountain pen to outline the snowflakes as well. That would be the Platinum Perfont fountain pen, which is in the bottom left corner right now, and it's got an extra fine nib. The nib I stole from another pen called the Platinum Preppy. Since the nibs are interchangeable, I wanted to use the extra fine Platinum Preppy nib, so I took that out, put them in the Perfont. It doesn't really matter because they're pretty much the same pen, but I like the look of the Perfont pen over that of the Preppy pen. The ink that I used inside the Perfont pen is by Birmingham Pens, and it's their Point Park Fountain Turquoise ink, which you'll see kind of in the top corner there. Kind of out of frame, unfortunately. Now a third fountain pen here I'm using is the Miniso fountain pen. Miniso, I think, is a Chinese brand, and this particular fountain pen was really cheap, but it is also very much a look-alike to the Lamy Safari. Nevertheless, it has an extra fine nib, and I quite like the nib. That pen is inked up with a Diamine Marine ink, which is also at the top of the screen. I use these 2 colors because one's a turquoise and the other one is also a turquoise. It's just slightly different shades, and I wanted to add some color. I did use those 2 colors to shade in some of the black outlines of the Waiting For page and the monthly task page, which you just saw me do, and then you'll see what I'm going to do with those later. It is kind of hard to see the color, especially on this smaller screen, but again, you'll see it later. This one is now the social media page. I do kind of have the same monthly collections at the beginning of each month, every month, so there's nothing new here. It's just mainly showing you which pens I'm using, which inks I'm using, and what kind of things I'm doodling, really. So the last one here is the daily log page. And by the way, you'll notice that for each of these monthly collections and collections pages, I've been doodling a snowflake at the top left corner, and hopefully I will also doodle them randomly throughout the pages just to add a little bit of deco. I quite like the Fabriano paper. It is fountain pen friendly, although you'll see later that I will have a little bit of an issue with this paper. But for the most part, I enjoy writing on this type of paper, and it's a change from the Tomoe River paper that I've been using for so long. The last page here, I flipped to the very end of the little insert, drawing a little snowflake doodle, and I thought I would document all of the different inks that I would be using in this insert, since I want to switch out the inks that I'm using here maybe every week or so, just to give even more color. The ones that I have, of course, right now is the Diamond Marine and the Diamond Turquoise, but I could maybe switch and add a purple somewhere. So here now I'm using a water brush. This is like a watercolor paintbrush, and I believe it's by Royal and Langnickel. It's meant for kids or something. But I did try to use some of the Diamine ink and add some color to it. And remember that I used the Diamine ink to shade in some of the letters, and that's what I used. I added some water, and it kind of just faded away, and it made this very lovely turquoise color. Now this is where I ran into an issue. I think I probably used too much water and the paper couldn't handle it. So there was some bleed through. And I wasn't expecting that, because really I did test this out a lot using bits of scrap Fabriano paper, and I didn't have any issues with bleed through. It wasn't until I did this that I noticed that there was a bleed through. And there's nothing you can really do about that. I already set this up. But I just thought I'd show you anyway. I have no choice. Now we skip ahead a little bit, and I decided to cut out a piece of paper, same Fabriano paper, just to glue over that monthly task page, because I knew that I really wouldn't like to see all of that bleed through so much. And here I am. I just got some glue, really quickly applied it, and I apologize for being out of frame for most of it, but it's not really hard to see what I'm doing. I'm just gluing over it, and I caught some paper wrinkles. That's how it goes. Well, I'm back. I've now pretty much finished, so I'm going to show you a flip through one last time. I have my cover page here. I did add a different sticky note, and I just wrote "Please return to." And when you flip it, then I'm going to write down my name and email. Then we get to the index. Now on this side, it used to be blank, and now I've put in some sticky notes. So these are just sticky notes. I probably need to add more. And this is kind of like an inbox for me. I know exactly where to go if I need to find a sticky note. Now we get to the December cover page, and there's bleed through here, but there's nothing I can do about it right now. We have the monthly task page and the waiting for page, and the bleed through from the other side has now been covered up. Although I can't do anything about these smudges. I get to the social media page, and this is what I was expecting from this paper. I was expecting no bleed through or little bleed through, because you can see this side, it did not bleed through. And same with the daily log page here, did not bleed through. Now we get to the daily log. I did add the first of the month here, which is on a Tuesday. And then we flip to the back, which is the inks used, and I did write down all of the inks used. At this point, I should mention the other pen that I'm going to use, and it's this Pilot Prera. It's got the Noodler's Lexington Gray ink in here, and I'm going to use this for my dailies too, so I can write most of my tasks with this pen and most of my notes. The last pen I should mention is this one. It is by Wing Sung, and it's like their brush calligraphy pen. So let me very carefully open this. And you can see that it's got a brush tip, where you can see like this, instead of a fountain pen nib. But it does use fountain pen ink, and I put the Park Fountain Turquoise in here. It's also got a piston filler mechanism. This pen is the one that I use to letter the Tuesday here, and you can kind of see the actual shade of the turquoise ink from Birmingham pens a lot better. Now, I'm not very good at lettering. I think this one turned out okay though. So I'm going to use this and practice my lettering with this pen throughout the month. I was using a piece of scrap paper and I decided to draw out all of the 5 different snowflake designs that were featured on my cover page. And this was just for a reference. If I wanted to draw another snowflake sometime in the month, then I could kind of refer to this in case I forget. And I'm going to put this inside my pencil board. So I did make this new pencil board sometime earlier in the summer, but now it has a top loading pocket and I can slide it in like this. And I can just put it in my pencil board as a bookmark and as a reference. And so usually I will put that onto the page that I'm currently writing in, so something like that. Next, for my leather cover, because I want to keep this insert and my old bullet journal book together, I decided to move into a traveler's notebook. And since this is rather chunky, I decided to move into my Lorite Trifold Traveler's Notebook. This is in the Larimar leather, and it's a B6 wide, so it should fit both of these. I usually have a decoration for this notebook, and so I'm pulling out my white duct tape cover. I did put a new deco on the front here, and this is actually just a greeting card by the shop Oh My Inspired. And I just like the kind of watercolor effect in the blues here, which sort of match my theme for the month. So it might move a bit. I might try to stick it down, I don't know. So this bullet journal goes in the back, and then this bullet journal, let me find the middle here. This bullet journal will go on this string. Let's see how it looks. It's going to be hard to write in here, especially when this is in the back, like this. But even if I put it, let's say I put this on the front and this in the back, it's going to be the same way. So I think if I work in it like this, then I may have to take it out and write in it every time. We shall see. Oh, and I want to put something in this pocket too. Let's just stick this little die cut. This is from Paper Echoes, and I've used this in my setup before. Maybe I'll just put it like this. There you have it. Look how chunky that is. You can barely see the insert in the back or the front. Yeah. So that's it for my 2020 bullet journal setup video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.